top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Drive-In Speaker Box Podcast. You are tuned in. It is July 10th, 2023. It is 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, and wherever it is you're tuned in, if you're watching live on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, thanks for joining us. If you are watching on Twitch, you've already been tuned in, hopefully, for the pre-show. Where it's free. You can jump in, get on that. We love our Twitch viewers. But if you're just downloading this podcast somewhere in the future, wherever it is you download podcasts and don't get to see our lovely, beautiful, youthful faces, then you can download those podcasts anywhere you get a podcast. So I'm your host, Bo, the boom operator.
I am Slick Doggy the Grip.
This is Jake. And we're going to be talking to you about movies. That's what we do.
You think when Snake Plissken's, he's like, the name's Snake, and they're like, his name's Steve, dude. His name's Steve, okay? Like, they don't call Snake Plissken out. Come on, man.
No, you go Snake, and he goes, the name's Plissken, and you go, all right, Plissken. He goes, the name's Snake. That's like that's the thing that he does.
Yeah, but there's not some turd in the background like, his name's Steve, okay? His name's Steve. Don't let him trick you. It's not Snake. It's Steve.
If we're gonna be internet celebrities,
Slick
they gotta know
perfect.
our name. Like how many?
How many Slick Doggies are there? One.
But
There's
nobody
just one.
like
That you know of.
that was like we're so antiquated as a host, like a show, is that we were using DJ names like the Wild Man and the Badger in the morning. Like that was us, and now everybody's using their real names because of the internet, the way that the internet's changed.
No one on Twitch uses their real name.
Yeah, but they use their freaking Xbox handles.
Yeah, we could do that.
Like Dangling Toucher and like what's
What's Xbox handle? Who are you playing games with, bro?
I don't know what's
Is
that
that
one.
how you played Sea of Thieves with when I was asleep?
What's that one dude that's on there that I always get notifications and he's like the nicest guy.
PewDiePie?
Well, that's a stupid name too.
PewDiePie's a legend, sir.
Yeah, but his name's
That's got
PewDiePie.
himself in trouble a couple of times.
Of course he has.
And he's European. He's weird.
And like no, I'm talking about the one guy that's like, hello, my friend, hello, my friend, and he says my friend, and you used to watch him all the time, and he has the afro, and he only plays Sea of Thieves, Fuzzy Bond.
Okay, I feel like Fuzzy Bond doesn't say my friend a lot like
No,
that.
that's all he says. Like I watched his show for a long time. Like and he goes, my friend, and he would say
Okay, but
friend to everybody.
He's not. No one knows his real name. He's just Fuzzy, bro.
Fuzzy Bond, but that's also his handle on Xbox.
Perfect.
Velvet Sent on Twitch says my CB name was Lazy Grandma. Mine was Tadpole.
That's good.
Yeah, Tadpole. Puss in Boots. Vince says Inigo Montoya. You killed my father.
Such a good movie.
Prepare to die. The six-fingered man. Show me your hands.
Can that be my name?
Inigo Montoya? There's too many
No,
syllables.
yeah, it doesn't work. That's not movie related other than the character. You got to have a behind the scenes name.
Mm-hmm.
Crafty
Fine.
works. Crafty's good.
Crafty, for now. I don't know. It's a working
Temporary.
title.
Okay.
Bing.
You could be best boy.
No. He already said no to that one.
We've had a best
Oh,
boy.
really?
Yeah, we had a best boy. That was
I'm also
Travis.
not a boy.
Which department though? You don't have to be a boy to be a best boy.
Best boy is in the grip department
Every time.
every time.
Isn't there a gaffer?
There's the key grip and the best boy,
Hmm.
and then there's the gaffer he's lighting. He's his own department, and then there's like a key. There's keys in every one. So there's key electric, and I think there might be a best boy electric.
I've seen more than one best boy on movie.
It's like Best Boy
credits.
Grip, and then Best Boy Electric is Best Boy Electric. But there's no Best Boy in sound. There's no Best Boy in camera. Camera's
Just call me electric.
just electric. Just call me electric.
call you
That's not how I
conceited.
said it. Whoa. Wait.
I don't know. You kind of said it. You like that. You went, call me electric.
Yeah, that didn't sound anything like what I said.
It sounded very similar.
That's what I heard. It might be
Well,
this
moving
crisp,
on.
cool Cayman Jack margarita that we're drinking that made me hear it that way. But I don't know. But we're going to talk about movies this week. This was a really light week in movies. There was what was that? Joyride came out last weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance. It's a situational, drug-based like buddy comedy.
It's Hangover with females. It's
Yeah.
a female hangover, right?
Didn't-
I don't know. I thought about watching it, but then I fell asleep and I woke up with 15 minutes before the last showing, and I was like, yeah, no.
Well, what did you see? I mean,
I watched The Outlaws on Netflix.
Well, how did you know that the Optimus Prime popcorn bucket was still $50?
Because I called and asked.
You called the movie theater?
Yeah, dude. I was out driving around and I was like,
How did that conversation go?
Optimus. I said, hey, man, weird question. Do you still have the Optimus Prime popcorn tins? He's like, yeah, we have 4 of them. I can see 3 of them right now. And I said, is it still $50? And he goes, I don't know, but last I checked, yes, it is still $50. Screw you. You will never have Optimus. And I was like, well,
Next week, you're just going to keep checking every week
every week, yeah.
and be like, hey, can I mean, come on.
I kind of want to drive by and ask him on my way home.
And just walk in and be like, hey, dog.
Here's $30.
I even asked him. I even asked him. I'm like, can I buy it without the popcorn and drinks, just to have it? And they're like, no. I'm like, I will give you the popcorn and the drinks.
Just put them in a different bag.
Just give me the friggin' Optimus.
Is it true you can drink through the exhaust?
His smokestacks are the straws that you put in your drinks.
Okay.
So the cab holds the soda. The trailer flips open, and you pour the popcorn through the length of the trailer, and then you get like a second soda or whatever. And his 2 smokestacks are the straws.
Okay, I remember us talking about that, and I was like,
Yeah,
man, did I imagine?
It's a large popcorn, but I mean, I don't think that much fits in there. Here lately, AMC's gotten better about it because they take those collector ones that are unwashed and just plastic produced that probably has tons of BPEs, and they just dump the popcorn in there. Like, have fun with your cancer corn.
And
here
you're never going to watch it.
Here
or
lately,
wash
they're
it.
like, here's your collector tin, and then here's your actual bucket of popcorn. So you have like the food grade suitable plastic, or not plastic, the waxed paper bucket, instead of using the collectible tin like we did with our Wonder Woman tin and our Ant-Man tin or Black Widow tin or whatever it is. And
then we
the
got
John Wick
the
one.
John Wick
The
one.
John Wick one was the first one they did not put popcorn
Did you
in.
got the James Bond one, didn't you? Did we have a James Bond?
It was a
too?
cup, I thought.
Oh, we have. It's right.
got the Fast and
this is the
Furious.
Fast and
It's
Furious
up
cup.
there by Batman.
Okay, yeah, that's the No Time to Die cup. It's over there.
Yeah, I got the Fast and Furious Cup duo. My parents kept one, and I brought the other one to the show.
Are they different?
No.
Okay. Well, that gets us. We didn't see a whole lot of movies. He saw a movie, but we're gonna Mission Impossible's coming out this weekend.
Oh, I wanted to see it, but our only option. So the Walmart early showing was available here. There was one theater, and it's the only non-updated theater
it's
in
the
our area.
Starlight Theater.
It's
and
the
it
one with all the
sucks.
seats that are in front of each other.
It sucks.
Instead of stadium seating, it's the one that has fold-down seats.
It's the one that they
And
hurried up and built
you
for
would've
the
been-
Bentonville Film Festival, and they
No,
never
it was
closed
at
it.
Rogerstown Center.
Oh, what?
The one that they have not updated. The classic theater.
Why did they? What there?
Yeah, Walmart early showing.
Because it's Walmart.
Walmart early showing is the same thing as the Amazon early showing for like D&D,
D&D,
except
yeah.
it was in one location in Northwest
And the
Arkansas only,
arguably the
at the
worst
worst theater in the area. They didn't do Pinnacle, which has at least the stadium seats.
style.
It doesn't have the reclining, but it has the stadium style seats. They did it at Rogerstown Center.
Oh,
which
dude, I'm buckling up. I'm going to AMC because I can.
I
the
wanted to see
seats-
it with a better sound and a bigger screen.
Now, I will say, if it's playing at our Malco in our Atmos theater, I'm gonna go there. So I'm gonna. So Vince says it's asking you how bad do you want to see this movie?
My guy, dude, I've been wanting this for a long time.
So-
just like Top Gun Maverick, and it was good.
So let's just go ahead and skip through. We'll come back to the news because we're talking about Mission Impossible right now because it's the movie that's coming out this week.
Anyone
okay?
who saw it yesterday, I'm super jelly, but at the same time, there's no way I can sit in those seats for 3 hours uninterrupted in a theater with low quality sound that has not been updated in a decade.
Early reviews are coming out saying that this movie is fantastic.
Duh.
And I recently finished rewatching all of the Mission Impossible movies because
Yes.
they're great.
Even the goofy one.
And it's funny about the goofy one. There was
Which one is that?
an old
Two.
that's part 2 where he had the hair.
Got it.
Well, he wanted everyone to have that hair so that when they would move in the slow motion, it would have the action in the hair.
Because it's John Woo, and that's what
And
John
there's
Woo
plenty
does.
of doves in that movie.
John Woo,
Motorcycle stunts.
Hong Kong pistol opera god. Any bird flying in an action movie, any two people jumping and doing this.
Listen, Mission Impossible 2 is sick,
It is.
but
And
it's
then
so goofy.
And John Woo was the master. Like any movie you've ever seen where two people come flying through the air at each other and sandwich, that's John Woo.
Bullet time.
Bullet time. Like you can thank John Woo for all these things that still exist in action movies today. But the one thing, because John Woo, like he did Wireworks, he did all these crazy action things, but even John Woo was terrified in Mission Impossible 2. And this is one of the reasons I love these movies. So in Mission Impossible 2, the opening scene,
Where he's climbing for real, and everyone's like, Tom Cruise might die
just
here.
don't do this. And so in this old interview, John Woo said, quote, "I was really mad that he wanted to do this stunt, and I tried to stop him, but I just couldn't because he was executive producer.
Yeah.
I was so scared, I was sweating. I wouldn't even watch the monitor when we shot it." And then he goes back and he goes, "We had 5 cameras on the cliff, including a helicopter camera, a camera on the crane, and a cameraman hanging from safety cables. But we also had focus problems, so we had to do it again and again, which terrified me. But then Tom would say, 'I'm okay, John. Don't worry. I want to do it one more time.'"
But there was like no net or anything
No.
like this. Like the crazy thing is Tom Cruise is like, I'm gonna climb this rock and you're gonna film it. Everyone's like, we really don't want to do this, Tom. And he's like, tough. And he just did.
And it says Tom was on the cliff parts of 5 days for the filming of that scene and never complained once.
I never knew that it was 5 days. I've seen lots of interviews about this. I didn't know it was 5 days. Of
And
him,
and he
like,
did the crucifix position.
for real.
He did it for real. Yeah, absolutely crazy.
Dude.
And you know the building in Dubai, he was really dangling outside that building.
And then the last one, he really broke his leg and kept on running.
Well,
and
the
stuff.
helicopter in it was the last one. It was Fallout, where he jumps on the helicopter and is climbing that cable, with the rope, and it has the payload on the bottom.
Yeah.
And
He actually falls.
he falls, and a lot of the crew didn't know that was about to happen. And
Well,
over
it wasn't scripted. No, that was on accident.
Yeah.
That's why they kept it in the movie, because it was
was-
for real, and he wasn't supposed to do that
they
because he
said-
almost died.
They said on the radio, everybody was like, "Oh my god! I think we just lost Tom," and because he slid and fell down that rope and then caught himself on the bottom, and they all thought he freaking died. This is why these movies are awesome.
Listen, despite what you think about Tom Cruise personally, which I think he would be the coolest dude to hang out with, right?
Yeah, because he's
He-
crazy.
sounds
He's
like a
absolutely
lunatic.
crazy. He's a lunatic, but he's amazing.
I know. A little midi Mission Impossible.
Yeah. And so me and my mom were telling my dad about this weekend, right? Because he's like, Tom Cruise, I don't know about that. And I was like, listen, we both were like, don't think about it as Tom Cruise. This is Ethan Hunt. And Ethan Hunt,
Ethan Hunt is invincible.
he is insane. And he can do anything.
He really can. He held his breath for almost 6 minutes in Fallout.
He trained himself how to do that. And I think we talked about it.
Only skin divers do that. And Tom's like, well, if a human can do it, I can do it.
I think we talked about it last week, but it's like, oh shit, where was I just about to go with this?
Night Ashley said she saw the clip of him riding a motorcycle off a huge ramp into a base jump. He did that for real.
They did it 3 times
Yeah,
for
that
this
was
new
real.
movie. They repeated it 3 times, so they just like destroyed all these motorcycles because Tom wanted his jump to look perfect. Mission Impossible movies are so good, and no matter what you think about Tom Cruise or Simon Pegg or whoever in the movie that you're like, I don't know about that guy, Ving Rhames or whatever, these movies are so good. Because they're movies, and they're good movies.
good, the
and they have
stunts are real, and-
Apparently, the car chase in this is supposed to be super badass, and they're like, how do we make it where you can see that Tom Cruise is just drifting the fuck out of this
And he's
car?
always riding motorcycles
Let's
real
rip
fast.
rip the doors off of it. Yeah, Tom Cruise is so cool.
If he wasn't so weird. Like,
In real
Dude,
life, he's
I want to be
weird.
best friends with
but
Tom Cruise.
man, so the
I bet
reason
he's the coolest dude. Everyone has great stories about him on set. He bakes some cakes. He hangs out with them. He's like the most fun dude in the world. Like, he makes everyone laugh. He thinks everyone's rad as long as you're like positive about stuff.
and wear your mask on set.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
well, okay, that's because they were trying to shut down the jobs of like how many people and
Yeah.
ruin Mission Impossible for how many people. Like, he has a pretty good point when he's like, put on your friggin' mask.
So
You're
we
gonna-
can make this movie.
You're going to ruin this movie for everyone. And they did, despite him telling them not to do that, didn't they? They shut it down twice filming. That's why we were just now getting this movie.
So the one of the, you know, I know we get real hype on Mission Impossible, but at its core, I think one of the reasons we love these movies so much is this is what makes movies, man. This is at its core, like they try not to CGI as much as possible. They do lots of practical stunts and real effects. They have a consistent cast from film to film. It's balanced. It's fun without being comedic all the time, where like so many of the movies just have to ham fist all this comedy. Even though Simon Pegg is a comedian, he's not like going, hey, jokes and jokes and jokes and jokes. Like the whole time there is a sense of, consequence to these movies, even though they're going to win because they're the good guys.
Yeah, but sometimes someone dies. Or like they
sometimes
lose a
someone
member of the
dies.
team, like Emilio. But like that's what I just remembered. One thing I think we talked about last week. One of the best parts of this series is that it's, even though it started as a reboot, they didn't just reboot it from nothing. They were like, it's a sequel to the original, and John Voight played one of the original characters gone bad for Ethan Hunt to get his start as the lead of the series. And it's amazing. It's so good because they didn't do a reboot the way they do reboots, where they're like, oh, we're going to treat you like you're stupid and never heard of this before, and here's
just
it from
ham
scratch.
fist everything
They're like,
to you.
here's a sequel of it, and we're going to do it. And it's going to be very good. And there hasn't been one Mission Impossible where I'm like, I don't like this movie. 2's the weird one.
But it's still good.
The most recent one is the boring one, I would say.
Fallout?
Yeah.
I mean,
You saw Henry Cavill as the bad guy from
Fallout
like
was
a
the
mile away.
first one of them that carried from the last one with the same villain, because it took the villain from the previous one, which was Rogue Nation.
Oh,
and
and
then
he was
carried
like-
him. He was the big. He was sort of the big bad guy. He was the intermediate bad guy, and Henry Cavill was the big bad guy. That was the reveal, like the twist ending.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you had the bad guy from the last one or whatever in his straight jacket and all that, so he was just plotting stuff.
Ethan Hunt, I
Yeah.
will ruin you. Or however he sounded like.
Henry Cavill, you saw as a bad guy from a million miles away. And as far as the Mission Impossibles go, story-wise, it was the boring one. Story-wise, action-wise,
yeah.
it was very good.
Action-wise, fantastic.
And it's not a bad movie. When I call it the
I
boring
hear this
one,
one's going to be about AI.
cool. Now, when I
It's
put it up
interesting that it's
against,
part one too.
Yeah, so
Well,
we
it's
know
the
that we're
first
getting
part
another
one.
one.
yeah, the next one's like the last one or whatever. But when I put it up against the other ones and say it's the boring one, it's still amazing. It's still super good compared to a lot of movies. It's just not as exciting, I think, as the other Mission Impossibles.
Yeah, I will agree with that. Like the pacing was a little bit different from the other Mission Impossibles, but it doesn't make it any less like fun. Like
Yeah.
I am sad that Jeremy Renner, like this makes me even more mad at the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because Marvel is what pulled what was it, Agent Brant, Brant, Agent
Well, he was
Brant.
only in like 2 movies though, right?
They were gonna keep him though.
He was in 3,
Sure.
4, and 5.
He was in 3 movies.
He was in 3 movies, and he was a great addition because he was like an agent that was like, I don't know about you guys. You guys are off the rails, blah, blah,
In
blah.
the first one.
And the first
And
one.
then he got
He
fully
still
on
kinda
board by
was
the
in
end
the
of it.
second one.
yeah, and he
Third
played the
one was where
politics.
was-
He was set up to be the new director of the IMF, but unfortunately, due to like filming schedules and big money Marvel, they pulled him away, and then after conflicts of him being Hawkeye,
Wasn't part of it him doing the Bourne movie too?
no, it was all Marvel. It was,
yeah,
his shooting
timeline was
schedule,
Marvel.
because he was doing the TV show and
he-
the movies,
But
the
he did-
Avengers.
He did the Bourne film in there somewhere too.
But it didn't conflict with the schedule. I mean, that's what I read anyway. It said scheduling conflicts with the character Hawkeye and the multiple things that he was filming for Marvel. He couldn't commit to Mission Impossible.
that's
Then he got
lame.
messed up in the snowblower accident, and now he can't do it at all. But I would have loved to see a cameo
I
in this
heard
one.
he was back to doing like all sorts of stuff that you would think he wouldn't be able to do by now.
I mean, hopefully.
I hope so too. You know, I mean, I know he's
I
recovered.
mean, he
but-
already broke both of his arms filming Tag, and then came back from that.
Yeah.
Really, I did.
Jeremy Renner, you know, when he broke out with the Hurt Locker, wasn't that his big breakout?
He has one limb he hasn't broke because he broke 2 arms in one movie and 1 leg in an accident, and so he has 1 leg left.
Hurt Locker was my least favorite movie that he did, though. I didn't like Hurt Locker. Did anybody else
I
like
don't think
Hurt
I've seen
Locker?
it.
It was Catherine
That's-
Bigelow, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, what an amazing director, Catherine Bigelow." I was like, "No, Point
It's
Break
like
is
Bomb Squad.
by far a better movie of Catherine Bigelow's." But-
Yeah, how do you beat Point Break?
You
You
don't.
don't. Yeah,
you
yeah.
just. No one got a pit bull thrown at them in Hurt Locker, so.
Anthony Kiedis, right?
Yeah, dude, Anthony Kiedis and Flea, like both in that movie, and then he throws that pit bull at him as they're running down the yeah, it was so good.
Vince says, despite feelings on Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible as a franchise beats Fast and Furious in every way imaginable. I don't know about every way imaginable,
Not the first
but
few movies.
the majority of it, yeah. Mission Impossible is just a much better series. You know what? Actually, so on Bing homepage the other day, the little quiz they have, an A or B answer quiz, you know, when you see what the percentage of answers is, it said, which July-born actor has been in more movies that you enjoy? And it was Tom Cruise or Harrison Ford. And that's what got me and my parents talking about it, because I was sitting there, I was like, well, who's been in more movies? I was like, the Mission Impossible franchise alone is more movies than what good movies Harrison Ford has made. So I was like, clearly it's Tom Cruise. He's been in way more movies that I like. Legend, Mission Impossible, both of the Top Guns, Cocktail, Rain Man, Edge of Tomorrow. What's Oblivion is the titties.
Risky Business, dude.
Was he the original
I don't
Jack?
like
You don't like
Risky
Risky Business?
Risky Business is fun, but I'm not like super jazzed on it. Like
He was in The Outsiders.
he was in The
He was in The
Outsiders. He
Outsiders.
was one of the Socias because, he's one of the greasers because fuck Socias.
Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Oh,
Minority
so good.
Report. was
Last
good.
Samurai is such a badass movie.
Magnolia. Last Samurai.
Yeah, as someone
Eyes
who
Wide Shut. Come on.
that's why show's weird as hell.
I like Eyes Wide
I bet you
Shut.
do.
I don't think I've seen that.
As a Japanese historian, I'd like
Interview with a
The Last
freaking
Samurai.
vampire.
Yeah, you got that one.
Lestat.
Tom Cruise is in a lot of badass
Good
movies.
He
Yeah.
really is, man.
Color of Money. He's in did I already say Cocktail, Days of Thunder?
Wait, where's our Days of Thunder hat?
Yeah, we have a ball cap right there.
Here's if anybody redeemed bric-a-brac, well, here it is. This is our Days of Thunder hat.
The first Jack Reacher.
Oh my God, the first Jack Reacher. Like
Oh,
this,
yeah.
this is an
Vintage
old
one,
vintage
too.
hat. It was given to us by one of our viewers. Loge Webb donated this to the show. Got our
And then I was like,
Days
well,
of Thunder hat.
what's Harrison Ford in? And I'm like, there's 3 Indiana Jones that are good. There's
6 Days, 7 Nights. You
No,
know, I love that one.
No, you do?
I do like it.
I bet you do.
It reminds me of like Romancing the Stone. You know.
But with Anne Heche and Harrison Ford, like the actors in Romancing the Stone are fun, and the 6 Days and 7 Nights, you just have 2 really grumpy people on like an island.
I kind of liked it. Okay,
But you got Blade Runner,
Air Force One,
Air Force One, Empire Strikes Back, and three of the Indiana Jones movies.
like the Patriot Games, the Jack Ryan stuff, like Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games.
The Fugitive is good.
Yeah, Mosquito Coast was actually pretty good too. If you're into that one, but
And I'm trying to think of anything else that's
there's
like,
not much. I mean, Sabrina was okay. But yeah, not a whole lot.
Exactly.
Not a lot of Harrison Ford movies. I mean, Cowboys and Aliens wasn't exactly something you write home about. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to watch that movie like 4 or 5 times before I could stay awake through it.
Yeah, not the best.
Yeah.
Night Owlsley also says Romancing the Stone is golden. And Jewel of the Nile, which is the sequel to Romancing the Stone.
Not as good.
Not as good, but has, Danny DeVito.
I was going to say, Danny DeVito shines in Romancing the Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're almost half an hour. We should actually get through a little bit of news.
Of the show?
Yeah,
Okay.
besides. Do you have anything?
Well, let me talk about the other movies that are coming out this week.
We're doing that before the news.
Yeah, we've already done this. There is a movie called Theater Camp that's coming out. It's a comedy, probably only going to be in limited release, but it does have some really cool up-and-coming comedians. You've got Jimmy Tatro. Can we get that up-and-comers emote? Molly Gordon, Ben Platt, Noah Galvin. A lot of people know Jimmy Tatro right now. He's been popping up in a lot of things. He was just in The Machine as a young
Bert Kreischer.
Yep, and
He has a popular web series, and I can't remember what it's called, but he was also in that Netflix spoof of their own show.
American Vandal or something like that.
Yeah, with the spray painted ding dong.
The ding dongs, which is really funny. Also coming out and probably extended release, The Miracle Club. This one is another one of those old lady movies. It's got like Maggie Smith. It's got Kathy Bates.
Sign me up. Dude.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude, Maggie Smith and Kathy Bates in the same movie.
yeah, get at it. It's gonna be a good one. That one's coming out this week. The tagline is, "There's just one dream for the women of Bellegarde, to taste freedom, to win a pilgrimage to the sacred French town of Lourdes."
Was Jimmy Tatro the dude in Pineapple Express where he's like, you and me at college next year, woo? No, it's not him. It's just a dude that's kind of like him. All right.
I think it's just a dude that's kind of like him. Also coming out, now the horror movie, I think it's going to start slow, but it'll get big. It's called The Flood. You may have seen the trailer for this a while back about
yeah, it's been forever.
Yeah, a big ass alligator coming in. It's from Lionsgate. It's a daring jailbreak during a dangerous Louisiana hurricane.
Show your seals.
I'm hoping that it's like a hurricane heist.
Hurricane Heist is so good.
Interrupted by a horde of large, hungry alligators. If you haven't been waiting for this one, well, you haven't been waiting, because it's got Casper Van Dien.
Oh fuck yeah! I didn't know that. I don't remember seeing him in the trailer at all. It was just a girl in the house trying not to get eaten.
Surprise! Casper Van Dien, star of Starship Troopers.
Hell yeah!
And that's about it. Coming back for this movie somehow. I don't know who Casper Van Dien made friends with to get into this movie, but
is this the same alligator flood movie?
I don't know,
because it feels like the plot's totally.
Is there an alligator floodiverse?
Yeah, there's already been an alligator flood movie. Is this not it? Is this a different one?
I thought it was the same.
Exactly the same movie?
Maybe so.
It's possible.
I feel like it's.
Vince on Twitch says that the Hurricane Heist is one of our best shows we ever did, where we reviewed that.
Because we got so tickled the whole time.
Let's see.
Southern accents in movies.
Mark Landry on YouTube says, sounds like the same plot as Shark and Saw Women's Prison Massacre.
Dude, have you ever seen that movie?
That's an actual movie.
It is an actual
movie. It's dumb. It's the slowest paced, dumbest movie.
You know, it's one of those movies where they tried to jump sharks so hard. Like, there was a lot of movies right after Sharknado happened that were like, well, I think it actually predates Sharknado to Piranha 3DD. I think, did that predate Sharknado? And then after that, you got like Birdemic, and then more Sharknadoes, and then Snakes on a Plane, and all these things that were just like, let's put robotic shark ninjas in, on a rocket ship to space. And it was how dumb can we get it? And people were just eating it up. So, The Flood. And then also coming out is The YouTube Effect, which probably hitting a lot of streaming, but it will be also in some select theaters. But it is a documentary from Alex Winter, who, of course, is from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure fame. The other not,
he was also in one of the...
he was in Freaks.
Crap. What's the movie with Charles Bronson, Death Wish? He was in one of the Death Wishes.
He was in one of the Death Wishes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like Alex Winter, and it's a documentary about... kind of a troubling look at YouTube and how it has really changed and shaped our perceptions of reality and how we perceive the world, and how that could potentially be a bad thing if we don't start to learn the difference between reality and entertainment. So, Vince says Death Wish 3.
Yeah, he was just like a little skinny dude in the gangs. And like one of the old dudes is like, I kept these BARs from the war. And they just like shoot out the windows at like the gangs and stuff. It's awesome.
Okay.
Death Wish Marathon was one of the best parts of old AMC.
Did you like the Death Wish remake with Bruce Willis?
I didn't mind it. Yeah, I reviewed it on the show.
I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, we both did. And I think we both kind of liked it.
him kicking the jack out from under a car and squishing a dude's head.
That was a pretty good one. Yeah.
Dude, the brutality in the new Death Wish is pretty sick.
Yeah.
And the story wasn't bad. Yeah, I liked it. I'm gonna say I
Yeah,
liked
I think we both liked it.
it. It was underrated. Not enough people went to watch it.
Memory serves. So, okay. Well, now that we got all the new releases out of the way, we're going to backtrack, talk
Quick
about some news. Let's talk about what happened this week.
Barbie has had its release delayed in most of Southeast Asia because it's been banned in
Because of the map of the world.
Vietnam, and it's likely banned in Philippines because of their hand-drawn crayon map of the world. And even though it looks nothing like the actual
And
world,
like all
and
the other
countries are in weird
countries,
places, and the Asia is not connected to Europe, and it's not
they just
connected to
got
Africa. Southeast Asia in particular, most of those countries have started banning the film because they claim that the drawing of Asia in Purple Crown represents some political lines that have been drawn by China, and it discounts their feelings. But if you look at the map, tell me where, and show me how that makes any sense.
What's
Because
amazing is
That's gnarly.
that is probably maybe a 4 to 2 second clip.
And they said they would show the movie if it's edited out, but she's standing in front of it while talking, so they have to re-edit the movie for Southeast Asian
Which
release.
they've done before for other movies, for China and other.
Which, if it was a real map that was printed and it forgot somewhere, like Taiwan or whatever, which has happened, or New Zealand in Star Trek just missing, things like that, sure, it's understandable. But this is like hand-drawn with crowns, and it's supposed to represent as if a child made it, and it looks exactly like that. But Southeast Asia is very
so
butthurt
mad
about this.
So mad. I like how Mark Landry on YouTube, he says, I don't have Barbie movie causing an international incident on my bingo card.
Dude, just wait. They've signed a truce. Barbie and Oppenheimer have signed a truce, apparently.
What, speaking of, did you see that AMC with their stubs and just AMC theaters announced today that they said over 20,000 people have already booked their Barbie and Oppenheimer double feature tickets.
Wow.
On the same day, AMC released this data from their Stubs network. They go, over 20,000 people have booked both of these tickets on the same day.
What a way to use your A-list.
Yeah.
Keep the meme alive, dude. That's
Dude.
sick. Speaking of things that people love, Wolverine in his yellow and blue costume, photos of it.
Deadpool.
Yeah, the
It looks
movie.
sick, and everyone back when the original X-Men movie came out in the 90s
They were
was
like, why?
oh, the comic book costumes won't work. They have to keep it real to life. And all of us were like, they can work. And then here it is. It works. It's perfect. It looks amazing. Everyone is in love with it.
Well, it's just like when we were talking about The Flash a couple weeks ago. The OG Batman suit, when you see it on screen, you're like, yeah, it's one of the hammier suits, but my God, it's the best freaking suit.
Did you see a week or two ago, they showed the sketches for Ben Affleck's Batman suit and everything. It was perfect. It looked exactly like the Arkham video game suits.
And they're like, no.
Yeah, they said no. The Ben
gotta
Affleck
make it-
suit still looks good.
You know who we can freaking thank? Christopher fucking Nolan. Like, he's like, we gotta make Batman stupid and appeal to only guys named Chad.
Well, and the Flash suit they had a better option for, but they changed it, and it was a more sleek and looked exactly like comic book Flash.
Yeah, 'cause
but
the
they
one he wore was
the one he
bulky.
wore and
Weird, yeah.
was stupid and still had a helmet. I don't know why he has a helmet when he's like a runner. It's supposed to be like a skin tight suit,
yeah,
like the speed skaters.
Yeah.
He's supposed to have like a speed skater suit, and they changed it. So there's a better Flash costume photo out there too. Speaking of DC here, Aquaman, they announced that they did confirm reshoots have been occurring 2 years after principal photography began on Aquaman because of all the DCU changes and shit like that. James Wan probably wants to fucking just die. Also, speaking of things that cost too much money and probably won't make it back, Indiana Jones 5. Did you know that the de-aging took them 3 years and over 100 visual artists to do, and it still looked like that? 3 years.
If he had just been standing still and in the darkness and not like tied up and bound and being like, I'm young and trapped and it's me, Harrison Ford,
They've been
it would have been fine.
when he was looking at you straight when his when the hood first came off, looked
Totally
great.
fine.
Looked great. As soon as he moved, it looked awful. But it took him 3 years to do that. So they've had it since the original iteration of this movie.
Yipes.
I'm sorry, but what kind of artists were doing this that it took that long.
Yeah,
VFX
exactly.
artist.
I'm no
VFX.
expert,
But
wow.
also reshoots, and they were changing the script and all that crap. I'm sure. Talking comic books and things like that. Jennifer Garner's coming back as Elektra in Deadpool 3, along with the cool Wolverine suit. So we
That
have that.
okay? That'll
Rumor-
be kind of fun.
I'm
Mm.
excited
I don't
about
like Jennifer
those.
Garner.
I don't
No,
either.
but one of the best article titles I read was
But I like this idea.
Marvel brings back one of the worst solo heroes in a time of comic book downturn. So it's remember the Elektra movie with the dude with the tattoos that came alive?
I completely remember the
Yeah,
Electra
garbage.
movie.
Rumor is Ben Affleck will be there as Daredevil. I think it might be fun. We'll see.
Well,
And
you
then-
know they're gonna poke fun at it. Like I think
Yeah, absolutely.
being in
Comic
Daredevil,
relief.
or excuse me, Deadpool, they're going to make it fun. And
Maybe they'll give Elektra her costume from the comics, and she'll have like the red thing and the black
sash
bandana.
I
and
hope so.
Yeah,
They're
that would
better.
be super cool. Beetlejuice 2, talking about old things coming back.
I've been watching a lot of set photos.
Set
They're
photos. Jenna
rebuilding.
Ortega in her wedding dress, and Winona Ryder is the mother of the bride, and all this crap. I think the Jenna Ortega overload is going to be Being Wednesday and the daughter of Winona Ryder's character from Beetlejuice,
Lydia Dietz.
Lydia Dietz. That's too much. But whatever.
Little Dietz.
And talking comic books and things like that too. Continuing with that, you see that Constantine 2 is still in the works despite the writer's strike and all of this and the DC change.
God, I hope because I hope
So
I
writer
hope they're actually writing a script because I know some of these
Well-
Marvel people are like, we don't need a script.
writer Akiva Goldsman said that the Constantine 2 is still happening. He hasn't started writing it yet, but he has thought about picking up his pen and starting it. So the writer strike is affecting it, but Constantine 2 is still going to happen despite the DCU from DCEU change that's occurring. And then talking sequels, you see that they announced a Den of Thieves 2, Pantera, but it's going to have Gerard Butler come back. He was
Did not see this.
Yeah, he's like the cop in the first one.
Because
right?
you know how much I love Gerard Butler.
dude, weather satellite movie.
Okay, Geostorm.
Geostorm was sick. We had a
was
great
pretty
time.
good.
But-
that was a good movie in the theater.
The thing about it
in
is,
fact, I kind of want to watch Geostorm. tonight.
Geostorm was so sick in
Can
the
we
theater.
have can we have a Geostorm watch party
Can we,
sometime?
please? We had such a good time at that movie.
What I should do is I should get one of those like inflatable.
Hurricane Heist, Geostorm double feature.
Whoa. We should do that at Pinpoint Back Patio.
Okay,
like
let's
I'll get a one of those inflatable screens from
Get a
like
wind
Sam's.
machine for it.
And we already got big, humongous fans.
Yeah, hell
and just
yeah.
blow. And I'll get misters, and we got like,
Yeah, and
you
then
could
I'll-
sit out there.
I'll pop out and I'll go, show your seals.
Yeah, we could just do a meet. We could sign
Mm-hmm.
autographs.
Yeah, let's do it. But Gerard Butler's making his comeback, but surprisingly, so is Michael Bisping and O'Shea Jackson Jr. Now, if you watch the first Den of Thieves, you'll know that O'Shea Jackson Jr. made his way to Europe because he was the, spoiler alert, bank heist mastermind, and Gerard Butler was the leader of the cops. So I don't know how they're going to bring both of them back for the second movie unless Gerard Butler goes to Europe or O'Shea Jackson Jr. comes back to the U.S. It doesn't make sense. But Michael Bisping's coming back, and one thing that I learned in seeing this news is that Michael Bisping's already signed on for a Red Sonja movie. They're making
Wait
a
a
Red
minute.
Sonja.
What?
Yeah. Hey, which right now on Humble Bundle, there is a Warhammer bundle and a Red Sonja bundle that has like over 100
So,
issues of Red Sonja.
You know, contrary to what Jennifer Lawrence would lead you to believe, that there was never any strong female action heroes before
I
Hunger
remember
Games.
that. Yeah.
Red Sonja is the coolest.
Red Sonja's rad.
She's like as cool as Conan, if not maybe. I mean, she's up there.
Dog, you're about to like.
But they were homies too.
Yeah, they were friends, and Arnold got conned into that movie for being on set longer than he was supposed to be, and featuring more in that movie because it was supposed to be a small cameo, but they kept him there and they filmed more, and then they used a bunch of it without paying him and without consent from him. So,
Well, I'm sure he's okay.
no, if you ever watch the Red Sonja movie, just know that
That Arnold was getting duped.
they lied to Arnold, did not pay him.
Dwight on YouTube, by the way, just said Geostorm was also great. So
Yeah,
he
Geostorm was
agrees.
a lot of fun. Red Sonja's cool, not as cool as Conan, but Red Sonja's cool. And then a couple of new movie trailers. Did you see the Napoleon trailer with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes, I did.
It's an Apple TV production, but it's going to be only in theaters. You can't watch it on Apple TV.
actually looks pretty good.
It looks pretty good.
Except
Except that French people have British accents for some reason.
It's a little weird. It's like what? Ooh la la, mate.
Yeah.
And like when I was younger, when I was like a teenager, my only sort of experience with Napoleon Bonaparte was from like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Like, of course, Napoleon coming out and going ziggy piggy, and that's where I learned how to cuss in French. Merde, merde, merde. And but
That's where you had to learn how to swat people's hands away from your ziggy piggy.
that's right. But then, when I was a teenager, I went to, I think it was in Memphis, Tennessee. They had the Napoleon Bonaparte exhibit from Paris that was traveling around. That dude was tiny.
See, no, he wasn't though.
I saw his clothes. He was tiny.
Yeah,
He
was.
the
He
whole
was
thing.
your size.
No, he wasn't as small as everyone says he is. That's like a classic meme of history.
Well, his clothes must have been fitting tight.
All of his generals were 6 feet or above, and at the time, that made them gigantic.
Okay, it says he was 5'6",
Which is completely normal for someone in the 17 and 1800s.
yeah, but I'm not. And
Yeah, we're giants. That's a thing. Humans have grown. We're bigger than we're supposed.
but it was
I'm
so
6'6". People in 17 and 1800 were not that tall.
But it's
I
so
would
weird.
be
Tom Cruise is an
Goliath.
inch taller than him.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is a little
5'6" was a perfectly normal
Fauntleroy.
human being size at that time. But all of his generals were like over 6 foot. They were behemoths on
Yeah.
the battlefield.
That's what made it look so weird, because you saw all his generals' clothes next to his clothes, and he was just this.
Which is why it's good that someone like Joaquin Phoenix, a normal-sized human being, is playing him because it's more true to history. Anyhow,
Anyway, it was a great exhibit, and then I got really into Napoleon because I was like, damn, mad respect, because he was a pretty freaking good general and a very smart guy.
yeah, you don't have that much success by just being an idiot.
No, you do not. Vince over on Twitch says Kubrick tried very long to do a Napoleon movie. It turned into Barry Lyndon, which was also a really good movie, and I will agree with that. Drew on YouTube said, bummer the Facebook comments don't pop through. But yep, agree about a lot, specifically that the Barbie apocalypse is a wild card. Bingo square, we didn't see it coming. OG Batmobile was the shit.
Our Facebook comments aren't showing up.
I guess not. I mean, we are broadcasting on Facebook, but they may just not.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. And then my last bit of news is that there was a new Shah Rukh Khan movie trailer that was released for Jawan.
Did not see this one.
It looks so good. He's like kind of a good guy, kind of a bad guy. You don't know from the trailer. He goes in multiple disguises. He has like a sick mummy disguise, and he's like all bandaged up and bloody, but he walks like a mummy and stuff. And he's like,
Talk like a mommy.
Yeah, and he
talk
goes-
like a mommy.
he's like, when I decide to be a villain, no hero stands a chance. But it's like you don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy in the trailer. It looks really cool. Shah Rukh Khan is super badass. His last movie, Pathan, was really good.
Shah Rukh Khan, like, a lot of
The-
times I go sleepy when he starts talking about like those movies, but Shah Rukh Khan is kind of awesome.
Dude, and if you have Amazon Prime, watch Pathan. Pathan was so good. It might get you to watch the rest of like Ek the Tiger and that series War, which is really good.
War's good.
But this one looks pretty sick. And that I need to watch the Pathan extended edition because it's on Amazon. But since I watched Pathan in the theaters to talk to you guys about it, it's been hard for me to just make myself watch it again when I have other things to do. But it looks pretty cool. Do yourself a favor, watch the Jawan trailer. Get into foreign films. Watch them. They're fun. It expand your horizons, which actually Ghibli Fest is going on right now.
It is.
Nausicaa in the
Nausicaa
Valley of the
was
Wind.
last night.
It was, but it was dubbed.
I also saw that, and I'm glad I didn't go.
Usually-
Even though it does have Patrick Stewart in the dub version, which is kind of fun. But dude, subbed.
I mean,
just
Howl's
saying.
Moving Castle has Billy Crystal. I'm not going to watch it in English again.
Just subbed.
Yeah.
Always do subbed. Just
So
please.
check your listings for Ghibli Fest or go to what's it called? Fathom
I mean,
Events.
it's Fathom Events. Yeah,
Yeah, go to Fathom Events. Check your Ghibli Fest stuff. Watch
It's
some of that
about
stuff.
every summer in June and July is when Ghibli Fest
Yeah,
happens.
2 or 3 months long. Yeah, but all sorts of. Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind is always rated as the top Ghibli film ever made. Go
It's
watch it.
so good.
It's super good.
It's so good.
Watch Totoro in the theater. Princess Mononoke in the theater will change your life.
If you can catch it, because they don't always include it on Ghibli Fest because
Well,
it
not
is
all.
not rated PG or it's not rated G.
Yeah, but Ghibli Fest, they change their movies every year. There's a few core ones you're going to see. If Pompoko ever hits the theater, watch that. Learn
that would
about
be fun.
Tanuki and
their magical ball sacks.
yeah, their nut sacks and their transformations and their parachute nuts and all of the yokai. The Pompoko's sick.
Drew
Cat
on
Returns is a lot of fun.
Cat
Porco
Returns is
Rosso is a good time.
Drew on YouTube asks, "Is there a 4DX cinema in Northwest Arkansas? The moving seats and wind and water effects are awesome." I wish. I've only been into a 4DX cinema once. It was cool. It was super, super cool. And I think I was in Dallas when I went to a 4DX cinema.
The only 4D I went to was at Disney World for at Animal Kingdom for like Bugs Life or whatever, and my seat didn't work, so I didn't get the
that's a
4D
bummer.
bit.
Drew says on YouTube, now that you guys have an Alamo, it's not, they haven't even broken ground. It'll be at least a year before we get it, but we will get better random film stuff. We will get more Ghibli Fests and
We
things
still
like
have,
that,
we
but-
have plenty. Ghibli Fest occurs at more than one theater around here. We get a lot of import films. Sometimes when we do the reviews on
we get
movies,
a surprising amount of indie films here that
Yeah,
most people just don't realize we get it, but we do.
They don't look for them enough. When we do the totals on films, some of them that are in like 12 or 30
Are
theaters,
here.
we have them. I guess one of the advantages of having Walmart in their backyard.
Yeah, we just it comes with a lot of pros and cons. But
Which I'm telling you, if Mission Impossible was in a better theater, I would have been there. We would be talking about that right now.
let's see, was there any other news that you wanted to talk about?
That was all my stuff.
Let's see.
Wait, no, that's from last week. Yeah, that's all my stuff.
What did I have anything else that I wanted to mention on that? I mean, you said you saw a movie, right?
Yeah, I watched Outlaws on Netflix, the new Netflix with Pierce Brosnan and the
yeah.
Workaholics boys.
Yeah, well, how was that? Tell us about that, since there was no movies in theaters that...
I mean, I can keep it pretty short, honestly. I mean, it's definitely a movie for Netflix, right? There's some wasted talent with Michael Rooker and Pierce Brosnan. You got Adam Devine. What's his real
Not
name?
Adam Levine?
No,
from-
I always forget what his real last name is. In Workaholics is Adam DeMamp, so his real name is Adam Devine.
Gotcha.
It has Adam Devine and one of the other Workaholics dudes in there. He plays a small bit. But so Adam's getting married to this girl. He's never met her parents. She goes, "Good news, my parents are going to be in town for our wedding. We can," it has a dash in it. They're going to actually show up for the wedding. And he goes, "Cool, I get to meet your parents finally." And she's like, "Yeah, absolutely." And it turns out they're bank robbers. He's the manager of a bank. They rob his bank, and then shenanigans ensue. Michael Rooker's the FBI agent that's trying to track them down because they're notorious bank robbers called the Ghost Bandits.
Ooh.
It's very plain, very paint by numbers. There's nothing exciting or new involved in this. Like I said, Pierce Brosnan and Michael Rooker's talents are very wasted in here. Is it watchable? It's a Happy Madison movie with Workaholics flavor, right? So all of Adam Sandler's family is in it. A couple of his friends are in there. So you get your standard Happy Madison production movie, but you have like over-the-top Adam Devine mixed into it with very underutilized, like Richard Kind is in there.
I mean, is Richard Kind playing a Richard Kind character?
Kind of. He's Adam Devine's dad, and he's just like a super stuck-up dude, right? Like, and that's his whole thing, is just to talk shit, which is fun. But him and Pierce Brosnan and Michael Rooker underutilized, very Adam Devine heavy, with that Happy Madison flavor. It's about bank robbery. It's kind of like Den of Thieves.
Drew asks, is it Workaholics dad mode?
No, it's like Den of Thieves if they just dumbed it down to just the lowest level possible. And like Lauren Lapkus plays her same character from The Wrong Mindy or whatever it was, that movie where she David Spade.
Oh yes,
Yeah. It's a
the-
Netflix one too, where he texts
goes
the
on
wrong
a date
girl.
and
He has like his dream
the
girl.
wrong Missy.
The Wrong Missy. Yeah, she plays the same character from that, but if she managed a bank instead of was like a psycho with a Crocodile Dundee knife.
That ain't a knife.
Yeah.
This is a knife.
So
God, I want to watch Crocodile Dundee.
it's
now.
really rapid fire. It's really paint by numbers. It's very plain. And it plays like boogers for humor, boogers and puke.
I mean, everybody likes boogers and puke.
Yeah. So, and it was a disappointment in short, really. You could put it on in the background while you're like folding clothes or something like that, and it would probably be okay. You're really honestly not going to miss anything.
A movie to fold clothes to.
Yeah. I mean, you ever do that? You're like, man, I don't want to make the bed or fold these clothes or whatever.
But if there's a movie on.
But you put something on TV and then you get distracted by it and you're like, well, I didn't get anything done because I watched this movie. This would be the one to put on because you're not going to be distracted.
You get it done.
Yeah, because you'll look over and you're like, oh, it's the same dumb crap that was happening a second ago. So
Vince suggests the Hurricane Heist Crocodile Dundee double feature. No, if there's a Crocodile Dundee double feature, it's got to be Crocodile Dundee 1 and Crocodile Dundee 2.
Actually,
mate.
Do Hurricane Heist and what was the other one we said? Geostorm.
Geostorm. That's the double feature.
But one of those alligator films we were talking about. Then Crocodile Dundee 2, since he wears the alligator and pulls those dudes underwater.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Those Jersey gangsters.
Where's your gun, mate?
Yeah, they
I
don't stand
need
a
gun.
chance.
I've got a donk. A what?
And he does
a donk.
The whoa, 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 whoa.
It's like the beginning of a of that song. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, more Jersey Boys, Bon Jovi.
It's a Bon Jovi.
That would be
thing.
so good.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. And then
Crocodile Dundee on the block.
Yeah. That ain't a knife. This is a knife. Whoa. Yeah.
Let's have a career rewriting Bon Jovi songs
As
Crocodile Dundee. Yeah.
We're halfway there. Oh, washing my underwear in the bidet in the hotel downtown. Yeah.
Something
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crocodile Dundee. He didn't know what the bidet was, and he used it to like wash his boots and his underwear.
No, he was in the bath doing that.
Doing his
And that's
laundry.
when she came in and she goes, Senor Meek. And then he's like, oh, yeah, just set it down in there. But it's her and she comes in and messes with him.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Senor Me.
Because he grabs his hat and he puts it in his
Over
bubble
his-
bath over
yeah.
his dingus. Yeah.
Over his dangus.
Yeah. That's not a dingus. That's a dingus.
Oh man, and I like how like not woke but woke when he asks like Carl.
Is that a Sheila?
No, he goes, "What tribe are you from?" Because he throws the boomerang, and then
Yeah.
he like says his gang that he was a member of when he was a kid, and they're like, "Yeah."
Yeah. He also grabs those
Oh,
people's
that's
crotches.
totally not PC now. You can't.
But
do
he
that.
also taught those hookers how to be real people.
I mean, he did.
That's what happens in the movie.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
You've never seen Crocodile Dundee?
Do I look like I've seen it?
Everyone should
Everyone,
watch Crocodile
yeah,
Dundee.
everyone should
Just
see it.
because I should doesn't mean I have.
Crocodile Dundee, dude.
I'm not opposed to it.
Crocodile Dundee.
We got like Vince over here, sex workers. Yeah, trying to make it more woke. We're talking in 80s lingo, Crocodile Dundee talk here.
That's inclusive language.
Yeah. Well, we're just quoting the movie.
Dingatus Dundee.
Dingus. Oh man, I love Crocodile Dundee.
He
And it's-
teaches that dude a better way to do cocaine.
Oh, he puts it all in the
In
pot.
the hot water.
He's like, oh, you put it over
Put
here.
the towel over your head.
because he
Breathe
thought
it
it was
in.
he
Just
thought it
breathe
was
in.
like
cold
He
medicine.
thought it was cold medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, just breathe in. Oh my
You know
God.
what? I'm going to tell you a true story about my life right now. One time I went camping with a girl I was dating, right? And she's like, what time is it? I straight up looked at the sun and I gauged which way was what. And I was like, it's about this time. And then she looked at the clock and it straight up was that time. And she's like, what the hell? And I was like, Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah. But like in reality, when Crocodile Dundee did it, he like looked at,
He looked at his watch.
he looked at the dude, the dude with the ascot.
Yeah. Well, he was faking.
He looked at his watch. Yeah.
yeah.
I've always wanted to do that thing.
Oh, the.
I've tried that with animals before. It does not work.
Dude, Paul Hogan, he's still alive, right?
Yes. Remember because Danny McBride did the
Yeah.
Crocodile Dundee thing?
They did a fake trailer for a new movie. Crocodile Dundee 3 wasn't
It's Mike
the
Tyson.
worst.
Okay. All right. It's not great.
It was like it got you through a tough time where you're just like, you know, it'd be great some Paul Hogan, right? Yeah, because it's not. I mean, if you're looking through all the 5 Paul Hogan movies that there are,
Whoa, Lightning Jack fucked.
I was about to say I was going to put Lightning Jack and Almost an Angel
Oh,
above Crocodile Dundee 3.
Are you? Oh, okay.
And it's Crocodile Dundee 1, Crocodile Dundee 2, Lightning Jack,
Yeah.
Almost an Angel, Crocodile Dundee 3.
I'll agree. Okay,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Lightning Jack is such a good movie.
Lightning Jack is great, and it's got
It's
a
one
young.
of Cuba Gooding Jr.'s best movies.
That's right. I was about to say Cuba Gooding Jr.
I could do whatever I want to you, and you can't tell anyone. Oh, and he's like, I have my notebook and pen, and he goes, oh, wait, no, I couldn't tell anyone because he's mute, right? Yeah, that's a good movie.
Drew says on YouTube, he asks, "Can we talk about the Florida edition of Crocodile Dundee, which is Gator Methadult Wendy's Adventure?" I would be all about.
Is that a real thing?
Sir, this is a Wendy's where he's, just got a knife and a crocodile skin. And he's trying to get a chili potato or something. I don't know, a chili potato. Always sounds good. Wendy's chili. You can buy cans of Wendy's chili in Walmart now? What do you don't make
Wendy's
that.
chili's not good.
Chili's not good, but it's
Whoa,
great.
Sonic chili's pretty good. But
I'm
I
saying
like Sonic chili, but not
if you could get Sonic chili in a cup, it'd be so much better than Wendy's chili.
I'm just saying there's no chili is like hell yeah chili, but all chili is like hell yeah chili.
Chili's.
Does that make sense? Is that a haiku?
chili's
I don't know. We
I
need
think that was enough syllables.
to tell people what made money.
Oh my God, it is. It is that time, isn't it? So, all right. Well, we're almost out of time. So this has been a pretty exciting show. The last bit of the show is
Almost exciting as Blue Chew.
Whoa. Well, if you want to know that, you'll have to
Check Sam's
get
AI
on
generator.
Twitch. Yeah, don't forget to
get-
follow us on Twitch or sub, which helps us out.
Or
We
get in the
love that.
Discord.
Yeah, get in the Discord, which our Twitch mod will throw up the Discord channel link right here in the chat here in just a moment. But it's the last segment of the show is our box office roundup, where we give you the box office totals for the past weekend, which was July 7th through 9th, 2023. We give you the top 10 movies in America. Jake's going to give you 10 all the way up to 1. The reason we only do domestics, we'll pepper in some global numbers for some of these bigger movies just so you know how much money you're giving them. But the domestic numbers, that's how we find out what's going to be greenlit. So if you follow the money, you'll know where we're going. So number 10, number 11. Can we just go ahead and mention number 11?
Yeah, because that was in the news too, but it wasn't really newsworthy.
Because it's only been out in 4 weeks.
In its 4th week out, kicked down to the 11th spot, The Flash, $2.25 million, bringing its domestic total in a month up to $105 million. Use better CGI, write better movies, give them better suits. Call it Batman starring the Flash and get yourself some money next time. So there you go. Flash out of the top 10 already made none of the dollars.
Dang.
And then coming in its 2nd week out, a movie that no one's probably surprised by, Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, just under $3 million. Its domestic total is 11.6. So who knew that movies about weird shape-shifting Kraken girls probably wouldn't appeal to people?
Surprise, all of us.
Speaking of fish women, in its 7th week out,
Beating Flash.
at number 9, Little Mermaid, $3.7 million brought in this last week, bringing it up to $289.25 for Ariel there. So in the Battle of the Fish Girls, Ariel's winning. And then in its 5th week out, coming in at number 8, Transformers: Rise of the Beast, $5 million brought in by it, just under 150 at 146.8. That's sad. Everyone was so stoked about where it was going with it and how much money it was making. I know they initially were very excited. I hope they keep on to that. This Transformers is actually worth going and watching.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I think it's suffering from the reputation of the other Transformers, and all of us that wanted to see this got it out of the way already. It's brought in 400 across the globe, so it's made a little bit of money. Probably not enough for them to be super stoked about a sequel, but Rise of the Beast is actually a lot of fun. And then coming in at number 7, No Hard Feelings, in its 3rd week out, $5.4 million brought in by it. Its domestic take is $40.5 million. That's probably just cresting into profitable for a comedy like that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what location costs are like for wherever they shot. or what Jennifer Lawrence's paycheck is. But you got to have those strong women action heroes that didn't exist before
It did
her.
before
Yeah.
Hunger Games.
Ripley who? Yeah, never heard of her.
Red Sonja what?
Yeah. And then in its release week, number 6, Joyride, opening at 6, 5.8 million brought in by that one. We've seen The Hangover before. You got to come up with something new. But I did read articles saying that they're actually really happy with this and that raunchy comedies are on the rise again. When you open at number 6 and you only make $5 million on the weekend.
Yeah, I don't know if that's on the rise.
Yeah.
I feel like they paid for that ad.
Yeah, it's cool that you're excited about it, but clearly no one else was. And then in its 6th week out, coming in at number 5, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, $8 million, bringing its domestic to 357.6. So not so bad for Sony over here with Spider-Man. And then speaking of people that wish they had Spider-Man, Disney in its 4th week out, Elemental coming in at number 4, $10 million. Its domestic take is just under 110, so a tenth of what it's just under 11th of what it's made so far was just this past week.
Oof.
I have been told it's good. The guy at the movie theater said that he really liked it.
Didn't you say you saw it like 700
3.
times?
He said he saw it 3 and was going to watch it a 4th with his girlfriend.
700 equals 3.
He just
But
every shift to get off work and I go watch it, dude.
yeah, he was super excited about it. So who knows? And then because more money does not equal better than. We
This
know
is
that
true.
it might be a fantastic movie, just none of us have the desire to watch it. When it hits streaming, we might find out that it's a classic.
Yeah.
But we've all seen Romeo and Juliet, and we've all seen animated movies. Why do we need it? No one
Yeah.
knows. And then opening at number 3, Sound of Freedom. This was the one movie that out of the trailers I watched for what came out this weekend, I was like,
really
I
didn't.
kind of want to watch this a
I
little
didn't
bit.
think we were gonna get this. That's why we didn't report much on it.
We had it at like 3 different theaters.
I know.
locally.
It was in almost 2,800 theaters nationwide.
Yeah, so just over half of them. But it opened to the tune of $19.7 million for a movie that I saw zero advertising.
Oh yeah.
So not bad
But
for
Angel Studios, is it a faith-based film? I can't.
Well, it's like a preacher or something,
Well,
like
then, yes.
saving a kid from
The-
like a sex cult, and then they're like, "We got to go back for my sister," and he's like, "Let's go." I don't know. The trailer actually made it look like it was exciting, but I just didn't have it in me to watch like child sex cult movie.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a hard.
Like,
I
I had
can't
to
just
be in
like,
the-
ooh, let's go watch a movie about sex trafficking.
Like when Rambo happened, you're like, Rambo, and like, by the way, kids getting touched, and Rambo's like, not having it, rips that dude's throat out, and you're just like, yeah, get him. I didn't expect that in this movie. Kill those dudes. Knowing that that's what I'm in for, I was just like, I don't feel like doing this.
Drew
this
on
Sunday.
YouTube asks for the synopsis, and the tagline is the incredible true story of a former government agent turned vigilante who embarks on a dangerous mission to rescue hundreds of children from sex traffickers.
Okay, well, everything in the trailer and what I read was said it was about 2 kids, but that's cool that it's a true story. That actually brings
Based on a
something
true
to it.
story.
Yeah. And then number 2, Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, brought in 27.4. Its domestic take is 122 so far in its 2nd week out. It's brought in just under 250 worldwide. They got another 50 million to go before they even start to crest into profitable, because it was over 300 million is what it cost them.
I honestly thought it would do a little bit better this past weekend. I really
I think
did.
like what we talked about last week, it's hard to recover from Crystal Skull.
Yes, I think so too. I think that this movie is going to take off when it hits streaming.
Yeah, I think it's because you can pause it and walk away from it for a minute, because Sophie Waller-Bridge is a lot to deal with in this movie. And what's that pitch meeting on YouTube? He kind of did it. He's like, yeah, now she's the main character. Yeah, and he's like, what about Indy? He goes, no, forget about that. She's the main character.
I mean,
now.
she is.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the kind. When you see Indiana Jones, you don't want to see Sophie Waller-Bridge. You want to see Indiana Jones outside of the first 20 minutes where he's a CGI character in his 30s with an 80-year-old's voice.
Yeah, that was you could hear the voice.
Right.
And that was a
They
bummer.
didn't modulate the voice at all. They just put him in a recording studio. But opening at number 1, taking the number 1 spot by quite a bit, $33 million, brought in by a horror movie, by a jump scare horror movie to take the number 1 spot in the country. Insidious, The Red Door, and it's brought in twice that total with its international market. So just killing it.
And they're
right
like,
now.
this is the last one, except for wait, we made a lot of money, so we're gonna do another one of these. Man, I mean,
Yeah.
Insidious, in the Insidious movies. I mean, these horror movies, they just make money. They're cheap to make, and they make money. Oh my god.
Yeah, not a bad. Was it his directorial debut, or
No,
this is like
I
his
think
first
this
big?
is his first. Yeah.
Yeah, for the main star. What's his name?
Well, if you hadn't asked me,
Old dude. We know his name.
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
Let me look and see if it says he's directed any other ones. I can't remember if he has or not. Well, no, he did.
This
This is it. This
Yeah.
is his directorial
Hey,
debut.
Not a bad debut to take number 1 away from movies such as Indiana Jones, Spider-Man, whatever the hell else, Transformers, like all of these franchises that have been out there for a long
he
time
just
now.
comes in and-
they come in with their franchise and swoop that number 1 spot with a adult R-rated horror movie
Yep.
that's number 35 in its series, and there's no fatigue there the way that there is for these comic book movies or people willing to pass Indiana Jones up.
Because
So,
scary.
good job.
Nice work, guys.
You did it.
Well, all right. Well, that's your box office roundup for July 7th through 9th, 2023, and that is the end of the show. We are going to be back next week. We're going to be seeing some Mission Impossible.
Dude, I am amped. So amped.
Yeah, we're gonna hit you with the Mission Impossible reviews. It's gonna be good.
You should probably switch one.
Did you find the weirdest version of
I
them?
found the one that's not gonna get us flagged. Yeah, we're gonna watch Tom Cruise on motorcycles with parachutes, and Simon Pegg, and Ving Rhames, and the British lady. And
There's 2 British ladies in this one.
oh yeah, I guess you're right. Well, yeah, we'll be back next. What?
Something fun about the chick from Dune, whatever her name is. In the trailer, they show her with the eye patch and she's sniping. And I instantly was like, she has the eye patch on because she's using a sniper rifle. The real reason they put it on her is because the director asked her to close her eye and she can't close one eye at a time. So they got tired of trying to angle in and shoot it, and they just called for an eye patch, put it on her so he could get the shot without worrying about her being able to close her eye, because she'd like make that face apparently every time. So
That's pretty funny. Well, all right, guys. We will check that out for you. We will review it next week. We will see you then. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever it is you like to like and subscribe. Facebook Live, Twitch, or YouTube. We really prefer Twitch. It's a lot of fun. It's easy to use. I know everybody's getting mad at Twitch about monetization. We don't make a lot of money off this anyway, so we don't care. It's just got the tools
plus
that
if
we
you have
like.
Amazon Prime, you already got it. It's already
You already
there.
sub for free. It's cool. And we get like $1. So, yeah, we get a whole freaking $1.
This is our Mission Impossible gaining stream.
Yeah.
Stream viewers.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is
Become part of chat.
Subscribe on Twitch. Like that's the here we go.
This message will self-destruct.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, subscribe on Twitch. And
Why'd you become straight?
it's because that's the bad guy from the last one.
That's not a subscription. That's
This
a
is-
subscription.
Dude, shout outs to our 24-month subscription going over to Vince on our Twitch. That's pretty badass. So, all right, guys. Well, don't forget, I'm your host, Bo, the Boom Operator.
Slick doggy.
And we will see you guys next week right here on the Drive-In Speaker Box. Bye now.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.